Mr Deputy Speaker, I rise to speak about the provision of aged care in the Burdekin, and in particular the Lower Burdekin Home of the Aged Society, a two-campus aged care provider located in the Burdekin. The 40-year-old business is run by a not-for-profit board and is home to 173 residents, directly employing 220 staff under the supervision and care of the CEO, Jim Collins. The Society started with independent living for the aged, but is now exclusively dedicated to acute and subacute care for our frail and elderly. Mr Deputy Speaker, urgent changes are required to the LBHA in response to the new challenges brought about by new rules to the aged care sector in Australia. Residential aged care is now a late stage of care that follows a progression of supported living and care supplied to recipients in their own home. Most Burdekin people are enjoying supported living to their home, but when before that they may have been provided in the low care environments such as that offered by an aged care facility. We know that the individual's decision to move into residential aged care is left much later. The effect has been dramatic, and it means the low care accommodation provided by the Lower Burdekin Home for the Aged no longer has any appeal or demand in the Burdekin community. Instead, the demand is for more high care settings with full-time nursing and hospital-grade equipment. Unfortunately, not enough of the LBHA beds suit that need. Parts of the facility are no longer fit for purpose. Currently, the joint facilities are short 20 physical places for the elderly, meaning no beds. An additional 20 other places are using shared ablution facilities, which in today's society is unacceptable. It is projected that this community will require 230 residential placements in aged care by 2023. Due diligence studies show that without immediate changes to the business, including rationalisations and new infrastructure build, LBHA has an uncertain future. Recent expenditure of $3 million in works in the last 2 years to meet a 40% increase, 14 beds, in local dementia care places only scratches the surface of the demands in this area. To meet this change, the LBHA have committed to a new nursing home in Ayr, and to achieve the new nursing home they will need to revise the way they do business and respond to the new levels of care demanded by the Burdekin. The program will take 3 years to fully implement, with the scale of the task significant. Critical is acting now and building 45 places in Stage 1. Government funding is required of $7.5 million. A further $4 million will be provided by Lower Burdekin Aged Care. Mr Deputy Speaker, if this building work goes ahead, LBHA will be able to complete the second stage and continue to support the elderly residents of the Burdekin. On behalf of the LBHA, I call on government at all levels to support the LBHA in their funding application, which will allow for the care of our elderly citizens and the ongoing employment of 200 persons in the Burdekin region.
Thank you, Member for Burdekin. I call